So welcome to the second video on this channel. My name's Christina Lavers. I have a little bit of a cold, but this is what I'm doing. I'm just committing to showing up however that looks in the moment. So I thought today it might be really nice to look at the concept of intention. My intention for Quantum Heart Rising is to create a space for growth, a space where I can show up in my heart with honesty and presence. In sharing my own stories and perspectives, I commit to nurturing the tender, magical, and courageous aspects within myself and within the collective. May these sharings bring more love into the world, activate remembrance, and reach whoever they're meant to reach. So, what I just read out was the intention that I created for this channel. I'll just begin by sharing a little bit of my perspective on intention and why I think intention is so important, why it matters so much. I feel like intention is what sets the frequency that we actually move forward with. So unlike a goal, which is placed in the future, it's something in the future that we're moving towards. With an intention, we're just really dropping that down into the moment, into the now, and allowing it to inform our field as we move forward. In terms of a goal, it's something that we have to really do on a conscious level. We've got to mobilize aspects of ourselves in terms of behavior and actions that we need to put into place. But I see the concept of intention much more passive. Once we've sort of created the intention, we just allow it to be working under the surface. So when we drop that intention down, we get really clear about what the intention is. We allow the unconscious to begin to structure our attention. So this is all happening at an unconscious level, but in the same way, synchronicities help us to meet the right person at the right time, or, look at a clock at just the right moment. Well, that we can have that working for us by using intentions. The thing that's important to remember about intention is that there's always going to be an intention beneath the surface that is guiding and informing our state of being. So if we are not consciously involved in helping to shape that intention, to get really clear about what that intention is, then there's a good chance that that intention is going to be aligned with more wounded aspects of ourselves. And that's one of the reasons they're so powerful and why it's so valuable to take the time to really craft and hone an intention that feels really right. Because our intentions that are actually coming from wounded parts of us, we also have our soul level intent. And the more that we can actually connect with that level of intention, the more likely we're going to be living out that high expression. And so I thought today that I'd just share a little bit about how that process works in me and how what I do with clients. Okay, so what are some questions that can be helpful when creating an intention? So one question that I find really useful is, what do I most want to experience, feel, or understand through this process? And so this question can help us find a lot of clarity. And what I recommend is to really get to the essence of it. So say your intention, you wanted to create an intention around finding a house that you feel really good in. Rather than focusing on the details, like I want it to be on a street with not a lot of traffic, rather than focusing on details like that, just get behind that. So when you're saying, I want to live on a street, with not a lot of traffic, what's really going on there? Most of the time, it's going to be something like, I want a space that I feel can feel really at peace in, because that's going to be the most important thing. Because if you said, oh, I don't want it to be on a busy street, but then you end up with a neighbor who is a chainsaw artist, something, that might be, a little bit of a problem. So in that way, you're really getting to the essence of what is the feeling that I'm looking for. So coming back to that question, what do I most want to experience, feel, or understand through this process? So just sitting down with that, really sitting with it is so helpful. So question two is what parts of me are most invested in this venture, and which parts are holding back, and what do they need to feel safe moving forward. So this is so important. It's like with me starting up this channel, I had to get really clear about what this space was because when I really felt into it, I had a lot of parts that really didn't like the idea. Like as I expressed in the last video, there's a lot of parts of me that are not comfortable being in the spotlight. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this is to actually get more comfortable at doing that. So if I had done it, like I have another channel, it's not a big channel, but it's got maybe, I don't know, 300 subscribers to it. It's where I share my guided meditations. Now, that one is connected to a lot of people through my Facebook. A lot of them are people from my past, from high school. They're not people who resonate with this material. So when I was really exploring what I needed, that became vital that I create this space in at least to start in a really quiet way where I didn't, and I know this is sort of counterintuitive to how you're meant to do things like this, is to get up and tell everybody this is what I'm doing. But I could feel that there was parts of me that I knew would be in the background, probably self-sabotaging, because that's what we do. That's what these parts, when parts of us are like keen to move forward, but we're not integrated, we don't have cohesion, we're gonna have parts in the background that are just gonna be digging their heels in and ensuring that it's not easy to move forward. So that's another reason why intention is so valuable, is it helps us to create a guidepost that all aspects can get on board with. So we find a way that that's going to be safe. That's what that key part is at the end of the intention that I read out at the beginning is, and reach whoever they're meant to reach. Hey, that felt safe. So doing it in this way and putting that into the intention, like just helping those parts know that that's what we're looking for. That's what we're creating. We want to create a space that's filled with the right people, the people who will understand. And it's okay that it's going to be slow. Now, in the beginning, when we're first connecting and really starting to get to know ourselves and really exploring our inner worlds and really discovering what's there, it might not be so easy to know the parts of us. So I thought I'll add some questions that can just help to familiarize ourselves more with what's going on, the forces working within our inner world. So a question that can be helpful in that way is when I sit with this idea, what feelings do I notice? So in that way, it might not be clear like, oh, I've got this part that is scared of coming forward. That might not be something that somebody's aware of immediately, but you can feel the feeling. So you might be able to feel like, oh, I can feel a bit of excitement at the idea, but ooh, I can also feel a little bit of dread. Okay, so what is that dread? Really taking some time to sit with it, and it will reveal. The more that you can sit with it, feel the feeling, the more that truth within you will become clear. So that can be a really, really helpful in the process of creating an intention. Another helpful question is, so is this intention coming from fear or from curiosity and love? So looking, and there'll probably always be a mix, but it's just about really the more that you can know it, the more that you can know what's there and really explore. So if you notice, like, yeah, there is some fear. Like say for instance, if somebody was wanting to start up a business, and when they looked into it, it was like, oh, well, there's a big part that's driving this need to start the business that wants to prove value or prove worth. Well, then that's something that's really good to get clarity around and to do some work to support the parts that don't feel so worthy. Journaling's such a great way to really just let it all out, allow what's ever there, and just explore. Now, the other thing, it's not so much a question, but a practice that can be really useful is as you get the intention, as it starts coming together, what you really want to make sure is that it feels right. Because intention is happening at a feeling level. So it's not about logic, it's not about being rational. It's about how it feels right. So when we're crafting the intention, it can be really useful just to take it when it starts feeling like it's nearly done, it's getting there, it's close, to just read it out loud and just to sit quietly with that, just feeling how it lands. And even though rationally it might make more sense to have one word over another, don't worry about that. Go with the feeling. Don't let the left brain can help, but this is a process that I think is best governed by a more right intuitive approach and really trusting what comes out in that way. And so I hope I'm just keeping it short. Like I said, I'm not feeling the best, but I wanted to do this and thought that would be a nice way to do it, to just talk about intention, especially at this early stage, just to share my intention for this channel. This is how I want it to grow. I want it to be something, I'm not in any hurry to grow it. I'm not rushing the process. I want the right people to find it. So I'm happy for anyone to share, to like, subscribe. If this speaks to you, come along on the journey. Thanks for listening. Have a beautiful week.